As Katrina moves inland, it's still packing very strong winds. Flooding will also be a huge problem, and countless tornado warnings have been issued today.
And we will talk with our severe weather expert coming up all about that.
Well, Hurricane Katrina making landfall at 6:10 Central Time in southeast Louisiana and southern Plaquemines Parish. It was a Category 4 with winds of 140 miles per hour. As you know, the impacts of a hurricane are felt well before the landfall and well after.
And here's some damage reports from the New Orleans area. The Superdome is leaking, a large hole in the roof. And in Gretna, which is just to the, on the west bank across the river from New Orleans, the roof was ripped off City Hall. And in Jefferson Parish, a report of an apartment building collapse in Terrytown. And as we head into Charity Hospital in New Orleans, reports of windows have been blown out on 5 floors.
And let's talk about some of the impacts here as we take you into New Orleans. First of all, devastating flooding, water level rise of 16 to 22 feet, winds of 120 to 145. And in Gulfport, Mississippi, same water level rise, waves of 25 to 35 feet, winds up to 120 miles an hour.
Hurricane Katrina is still a Category 1 hurricane, winds up to 75 miles an hour. It's making its way into southern Mississippi, now just to the northwest of Laurel, Mississippi. Continuing that north movement, should be crossing over Interstate 20, coming just to the west of Meridian. And as we go through the night, a big concern, the threat of tornadoes and strong gusty winds. Not a time to be out there driving. Easily could be finding falling trees coming down and doing more damage. We have a team of meteorologists from Louisiana to the Florida Panhandle to cover Katrina. Mike Seidel filed a report from Mobile, Alabama, and Jeff Morrow filed a report as he rode out the storm in Covington, Louisiana. We start with Jeff.
It is 9:05 Eastern, 8:05 local time here in Covington, Louisiana. Again, we're seeing some pretty strong winds at the present time. Coming down in gusts, we've already seen some tree damage here and a little bit of debris starting to fly through the air, mostly small tree limbs and some leaves as well. Keep glancing to my left to make sure that nothing bigger is coming our way. We are definitely on the western side of this hurricane, the northwest side. This is generally known as the weaker side, but boy, I'll tell you, you couldn't tell it looking into some of this wind. Gusts definitely probably up almost to hurricane force right now. At times it's a little bit difficult to stand. Just wind-driven sheets of rain blowing sideways, a lot of trees bending over, and a lot of them have come down. Power's been out since early this morning around this area, and with this much rain coming down, I'm sure we'll have some localized flooding. Some of the strongest winds that we've seen so far, I keep saying that, but every time I do, we get another bigger gust coming from Katrina. Definitely in the western part, maybe the extreme western side of the eye wall. Winds dead out of the north right now, blowing again, gusting as high as hurricane force, maybe up to about 80 miles an hour here. Definitely doing a lot of tree damage. At times, it's hard to see more than maybe a few yards because there's so much water in the air. At the very least, you're risking your vehicle and your life. Again, we get these gusts coming by that just are tremendous. With all the water and leaves flying through the air, it actually hurts to stand out here because the wind's blowing so hard at times. We've been having a tough time here. Whoa! This is some strong stuff that we're getting here right now. It's unbelievable that it has lasted as long as it has. Katrina really has had a kick to it. We're going to try to go out and survey some damage in the area, hopefully soon. It's been very dangerous to try to get out on the roadways.
And thankfully, we can report that Jeff and his crew are doing just fine.
All right, well, the Alabama coast has been getting hit with some huge waves as well as winds so strong they're knocking over trees, and there's been plenty of storm surge.
And meteorologist Mike Seidel filed these reports after being battered by Katrina in Mobile, Alabama.
The brunt of Hurricane Katrina hit Mobile mid-morning to early this afternoon. Wind gust up around 90 miles an hour and debris everywhere. No serious structural damage where we are, but we've seen a lot of this, a lot of shingles being blown off roofs in the area. You can see a lot of trees down. There's going to be some cleanup, obviously. And speaking of trees, everywhere trees are down, and at least 100,000 customers here in Mobile County without power. Let's take you downtown. The real serious story is the flooding. Incredible. This could be the highest surge on record. Frederick in 79 brought the water up 12 to 13 feet, but water everywhere 6 to 8 feet deep, almost as high as the top of parking meters and interstate signs. And it's going to be a while for that water to completely recede as the winds continue to blow onshore through this evening and early on Tuesday morning. In the meantime, the weather will turn around. The sunshine comes back out, and highs will be back in the low 90s Tuesday through next weekend. Mike Seidel, the Weather Channel, Mobile, Alabama.
Still very gusty there in Mobile, Alabama. Winds gusting to 64 miles an hour and gusting as high as 41 miles an hour in Meridian, Mississippi.
As it moves across the inland areas of the southeast, we're concerned with structural damage from strong, gusty winds, down trees and power lines, a big possibility, massive power outages, again, heavy rains and tornadoes.